Thank you for joining me. This is the Spiritual Princess, and today I'm going to talk about unlocking the Clair Senses, because if you're a psychic or a medium, this is just something you absolutely have to know and understand before going on to anything more advanced. Many people already know about the Clair Senses, as they are not necessarily new, and these have been taught worldwide for many, many years. But in my opinion, the Clair Senses are a vital part of the foundation to becoming an accomplished psychic or psychic medium. These senses should be understood fully and practiced before anybody ever tries to become more advanced. And to evolve, you have to understand the Clair Senses and how to use them. An individual may have more active Clair Senses in certain areas, and most mediums will have a more solid ability in one or two areas than others, but it really depends on the individual's natural born talent, and the level of development is the rest. And as I've said before in other videos, Spirit speaks to all of us differently. For instance, I can be in a room full of other accredited mediums, and each of us will perceive the same information in different ways. Anybody can learn how to strengthen their Clair Senses, and this is what the video is going to be about. So if you're interested, please stick around and we're going to talk about it. Okay, so the Clair Senses are the intuitive abilities that psychics and mediums use to connect with the spirit world and perceive information beyond the physical senses. These include, there's clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Clairaudience is when you hear, so it's clear hearing. Clairsentience is when you feel, so it's clear feeling. Claircongnizance is just clear knowing. And there's other ones we'll go over, but each sense allows a psychic to receive messages from spirits, their guides, or any other higher vibrational beings. And so, for example, a clairvoyant is going to see visions or symbols, while a clairaudient will hear the messages or hear sounds. Clairsentients often experience emotions or physical sensations, and the people who are really good at claircognizance, they just know things. They know them without understanding how the knowledge came to them. So these senses will help psychics tune in to any subtle vibrations of the spirit world, providing insights and guidance to those seeking the spiritual connection or answers. So by honing your Clair Senses, psychics can bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual realm. And this will offer profound understanding and healing to those that you're assisting. Everybody has the potential to develop their intuitive abilities to some extent. Becoming a psychic or medium, it often involves more than just strengthening the Clair Senses. It's kind of a combination of innate talent, practice, and spiritual growth. Some people may naturally have stronger Clair Senses and a greater affinity for connecting with the spirit realm, while others might need work more diligently to develop the skills. So I'm going to quickly go over the types of Clair Senses. The first one is clairvoyance. Again, it's the psychic ability to detect or see spirits and other entities without physical sight. So it's a perception in the mind or third eye, and it's a series of extrasensory impressions and mental images. They can be of landscapes, people, places, animals, events, you name it. As soon as a spirit will step into my auric field, I can see them using my spiritual eyes, which is your third eye. And the physical eyes can be open or closed when this happens. Like for me, I'll just start seeing an image of a person. And usually I can describe the person, if it's a man, a woman, their clothing, hairstyle, their age roughly. And that helps the person I'm sitting with understand who I'm actually communicating with. The next one is clairaudience, which is hearing. It's when you have the ability to hear or listen to spirits who communicate using certain sounds beyond the natural human range. Through this sense, those frequencies are felt and heard by a medium. Often these words are mental impressions the spirit wants to convey, and it is believed that clairaudience is a part of the inner voice that alerts you of imminent danger. In my opinion, this sense is often misunderstood by many because they think it's their mind, but in fact, it's spirit who's putting those thoughts into the mind or your physical ears. When somebody is deeply relaxed, like if you're just waking up from a deep sleep, you can sometimes hear spirit audibly, and it will startle you. But when you're busy and you're not paying attention, sometimes you'll hear a voice or a thought that pops into your head, and it'll take you by surprise. And that's what clairaudience is. They're trying to help you by letting you hear them. Okay, another clair sense is psychometry, and this is the ability to collect information about an item, its owner, or the history by touching the object physically. And this type of information is thought to be ambient energy picked up and translated through the hands. So objects containing natural substances such as like wood, glass, stone, and metal can hold on to power or energy either by a person who created it or by someone who owned it. If the emotions were strong surrounding the piece of material, the energy in the item would be very strong, and psychics would immediately pick up on the vibration in such an item. If you are somebody who tunes into surrounding energy more than others, you will sense the profound feelings in an object more than other people would. And so maybe your strength would be in psychometry. Another clair sense is clairsentience. This is the experience of tasting substances without physically placing anything in the mouth. It's usually associated with someone who lived and is often described as an impression of a taste rather than an actual physical sensation. Sometimes this is the only way a spirit will convey what they want. Suppose the spirit was a fantastic cook when they were alive, and they made food only their loved ones would remember. In that case, that's when they will impress upon a medium a certain taste that they can describe to someone who will then understand the meaning or the memory. Another clair sense would be clairsent, which is smelling, the ability to smell scents, aromas, odors, not bound by physical specifications, which are usually attached to a person when alive or even in a building. It's not a physical sensation, but an impression of a smell. It's more common in houses where loved ones have recently died or in areas where paranormal activity is high. It indicates the presence of a spirit, like if they're giving you the scent of perfume, cigarettes, cologne, flowers, pipe, burning buildings, burning wood, you name it. I have experienced a lot of those. But the scents within the mind create memories, good or bad. So spirit uses aromas when they want someone to know it's them. So that's an easy way for our loved ones on the other side to make their presence known. Another clair sense is clairsentience, or being empathic, which means emotions and feelings. It's the perception of feeling emotions within the body without any external sources of stimuli. Clairsentience is the ability to converse with spirits through feelings and emotions. A typical example of this is becoming overwhelmed by emotions and crying for no apparent reason if you're visiting a location that might have a traumatic history. That is another ability that is easy to develop because a person can notice intense energies left behind by events. Most everyone, psychic or not, can sense these types of sparks in the energy. They might not understand why, but they do sense something is off, or they'll feel uneasy for no apparent reason. The next one is Claircognizance, and my son is really good at this one. Claircognizance is just clear knowing. It's a metaphysical sense where you just know something to be accurate, but you don't have anything to back it up with facts or anything, and you just know. So it's almost like it randomly pops into your head, and you just know you're correct. And that's claircognizance. It can be in predictions, premonitions, a feeling of certainty, or just being right. And people with claircognizance may know certain places, events, situations, or people without traditionally receiving the information. It comes across as a sense of foreboding or deja vu. Usually in these instances, it is spirit letting you know beforehand, but still in other cases, the person is just highly in tune with other people's energy and quickly knows something without knowing how or why. The more developed a person is with reading energy around them, the more this ability will present itself. So now let's talk about, since you know the Clair Senses, let's talk about how we can strengthen those. Okay, so here's one practice to strengthen clairvoyance. So find a quiet space, sit comfortably where you're not going to be disturbed, and you're going to want to relax and do a lot of deep breathing. Close your eyes, take some deep breaths. You just want to allow your body to relax and your mind to become calm. That's number one. You can never do these kind of things if you're in a chaotic, stressful kind of environment or situation. You're going to want to be able to relax and breathe. Okay, so the first thing, we can begin by visualizing a simple object such as an apple or like a rose. Imagine it with so much detail, as much as you can, the color, the texture, shape, or any other features. Once you can see that in your mind's eye, expand the scene. So once you clearly see the object, expand that so it includes the larger scene of a room. So imagine placing an apple or a vase of flowers on a table in a room, and then start seeing the lighting and the other details you can, whether there's a nice cozy couch or a beautiful lamp, anything. And just start seeing that in your mind's eye. And now we want to engage the senses. So try to engage the senses in the visualization by imagining the scent of the apple, how it feels, the texture of it, or even if you don't want to use an apple, use a rose, how soft the petals are, how beautiful it smells, or even listen to the sounds of the environment you've created. Is it peaceful? Is there a radio playing in the background? And then when you're all done doing that practice, after like a little meditation, you can write down what you visualized and put down any insights or feelings you experienced. And that helps track your progress and enhances the practice of it. If you regularly practice this exercise, it will help sharpen your clairvoyant abilities, making it easier to receive and interpret visual messages from the spirit world. Okay, so if you want to know how to practice strengthening clairaudience, you need basically to meditate again. This is going to be a sound meditation. So you're going to find a quiet space where you're not disturbed. You're going to be able to be relaxed, breathe deeply for at least 5 minutes. What you do is you start focusing on sound. So begin by focusing on the sounds around you. Listen to the ambient noises, whether it's like a hum of a heater, furnace, air conditioner, the rustling of leaves outside, maybe distant traffic noises. Just be aware of each sound without trying to identify it or really judge that. Listen to internal sounds. So once you do that, shift your attention to the internal sounds in your body, such as like your heartbeat, your breathing, or any other subtle noises. Tune into silence, so gradually focus on the silence between the sounds. This silence can be a gateway to receiving messages from the spirit realm. And then ask for guidance. Mentally ask your spirit guides or higher self to communicate with you. Be open to receiving any words, phrases, or sounds that come into your awareness. Record your experience after the meditation and write down any messages or impressions you received. This just helps you track the progress and any reoccurring themes. And regular practice of this sound meditation can help sharpen your clairaudient abilities, making it easier to receive and interpret auditory messages from the spirit world. Okay, the next one is an exercise to strengthen clairsentience, which is the emotional scan. Basically, if you're an empath, you'll know what this is. But if you're not, you can learn to strengthen this anyway. So, for clairsentience, which is feeling, find a quiet space, again, where you're not disturbed. Relax and breathe for at least 5 minutes before beginning. Just allow your body to relax and your mind to be very calm. Now, this first step is like a body awareness. You want to start by bringing your awareness to different parts of your body, just one at a time. Notice any sensations, emotions, or energies in each area. You can begin with the feet and gradually move up to your head. Just tune into emotions. Pay attention to any emotions or feelings that arise during the scan. Try to identify where in your body these emotions are located. For example, you might feel tension in your shoulders or warmth in your heart area, a tingling in your stomach area. You just basically pay attention to any feelings. And then you can ask for guidance. You can mentally ask your spirit guides or higher self to communicate with you through feelings and sensations. You just have to be open to receiving any emotions, physical sensations, or intuitive nudges that come into the awareness. And again, you want to record your experience after the exercise. Write down any sensations or emotions you experienced. This helps track your progress and enhances the practice. So you have to regularly practice any of these so they can sharpen your abilities. And it makes it easier to receive and interpret emotional and physical messages from the spirit world. And that's why psychics have to do this. They have to be pretty competent and have a very well-rounded knowledge in doing all of these exercises to strengthen any clair senses they might have. If you want to learn how to strengthen psychometry, which is reading an object, this is what you can do. You can get an object. So you need to select something with history, such as a piece of jewelry, a photograph, an old book. But you have to make sure it's something that you're not too familiar with, but somebody else has to know maybe the background or more information about the object. And then again, you want to create a calm environment. Sit in a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. And then hold the object, gently hold the object in your hands. Focus on the sensation of the object, its weight, texture, temperature, etc. And then you need to clear your mind and allow your mind to become calm and open. So you want to let go of any distractions or preconceived notions. And then tune into the object's energy. Focus on the object's energy and try to sense any impressions, emotions, or images that come to your mind. And you want to be open to whatever you receive, whether it's visual, auditory, or a feeling. And then record your impressions. So after spending a few minutes with that object, write down any impressions, images, feelings, anything you experienced. And don't worry about whether they make sense, because they're usually not going to make sense to you. Just note everything that comes to you. Verify the information with the object's owner, and this will help understand, and then you can trust your intuitive impressions with psychometry. But with anything, you have to regularly practice. If you practice, the more you practice, the more it'll strengthen and sharpen these abilities, making it easier to receive and interpret the energy and history, definitely for psychometry with objects. And if you're interested in learning how to strengthen claircognizance, it's with intuitive writing. So you want to find a quiet space, again, where you're not disturbed and it's quiet. You want to relax and breathe and close your eyes, allowing your body to be calm for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And then set an intention. So mentally set an intention to receive clear and accurate insights from your higher self or your spirit guides. So ask a question, think of a question you want guidance on, and make it pretty simple. It can be something specific or pretty general, but make it kind of simple in the beginning. And then what you can do is you can start writing. Open a journal or a blank document and begin writing whatever thoughts, ideas, or insights come to your mind. And don't censor or judge what you're writing. Just let the information flow naturally. And then keep the flow. Write continuously for a set amount of time, such as 10 to 15 minutes. Don't worry about grammar or if it even makes sense. The goal is to tap into your inner knowing, which is claircognizance. Like if you're finished, read over what you've written. You might find that certain insights or pieces of information stand out or make sense in a different way. And this is also called automatic writing, but it's a way to practice to strengthen that claircognizance, which is just the ability of an inner knowing, and you just know things. And to close this out, I'm going to let my guides answer a question from a student. It says, how do I find out if I have psychic abilities? I often see things out of the corner of my eye and wonder if I have psychic abilities. So with that question, my guides answered, most people have intuition or a sixth sense. But if you're someone who has a true desire to want to use these gifts, whether to help others or just for yourself, and you find that you want to develop and learn more, that's really all you need to begin the journey. Some senses might be stronger and easier to develop than others, but each person needs to figure them out. People who have had like a near-death experience will connect to the spirit world more deeply since they have experienced transitioning to the other side and then returning. And that happened to me. That makes someone extraordinarily open to what the other side is. And with that knowledge, they will need to learn how to protect themselves, create boundaries, and due to their heightened sensitivity to the spirit world, they will often get bombarded with spirits attracted to their special energy. And what I mean by special energy is that their vibration is higher than those who have not had a near-death experience. So they tend to stand out, and spirit knows that they have a strong proficiency to help them find the other side. So if you're somebody who really wants to learn how to strengthen those Clair Senses, that's what all psychics have to practice for sometimes many years. And I hope that maybe opens some eyes to how this works for some. And thank you so much for listening. And please like and subscribe so I can grow my channel, so I can keep teaching the world what I already know. Have a great day. Love and light.